Hello again, pre-calculus students. Let's go back to angle measure and back to our example with the pi. Now this weird character on the right was talking about terms of pi crust. Why would anybody want to measure an angle in terms of the crust? Well, this is what we do when we talk about radians. Radians measure the length of the arc, which is how far we've gone around the edge, compared with the radius of the circle. Alright, over 2,000 years ago, Greek mathematicians were trying to describe a ratio of the length across a circle with the measurement around a circle. They loved putting everything in terms of ratios, and that's where we get the term rational numbers from. Well, guess what? This number didn't come out to a nice, perfect, neat fraction, and so they invented irrational numbers, and one of them just happens to be called pi, which is the ratio of circumference with diameter. Well, we're going to talk about in terms of radius, which gives us circumference is actually the measure of 2 pi r. So, for example, if I had a circle that was measuring 6 centimeters for a radius, then my circumference around the circle would be about 37.7 centimeters. Okay, so let's talk about radians. We're going to need to talk about this arc length right here, so we can talk about our measure of our angle theta. If my arc length was 5 centimeters and my radius was 4, then the ratio of the two would be 1.25. If my arc length was 25 meters, my radius was 20 meters, ratio would be 1.25. Okay, in either case this ratio was the same. So we're going to measure this angle theta and just call it 1.25 radians. Now when we get to talking about radians, we'd like to mention the unit circle. Unit circle is just where the radius is 1, which is the unit. Okay, now when we do that, then the circumference isn't 2 pi r, it's just 2 pi, because r is 1. So an arc length that goes 1/4 of the way around would be 1/4 of this 2 pi, or we just say pi over 2. An arc length that goes 2/3 of the way around the circle would be 2/3 of 2 pi, or 4 pi over 3. And so we get a nice even way of describing our theta. We just say theta is however many arc lengths we have radians. And sometimes the word radian isn't included. It doesn't have to be there, but we like to include it to show that we are talking about an angle. Now I sent you to this website on Chandler Gilbert Community College, and it's called the unit circle. So if we look at this angle right here that's 150 degrees, it's also 5/6 pi. That would be talking about the arc length right here. Remember, it's a unit circle. So we can use the measure of the angle in radians to find the arc length for any circle, because we can just use this formula right here and just say, okay, alright, so here's our angle and here's what's our radius. So for example, my son hates the crust on his pizza. So if I order a 15-inch pizza and he eats 3/8 of it, how many inches of crust are left? Okay, so he's going to eat 3/8 of this pizza. So I know that my theta then is 3 pi over 4 radians. So I just find the arc length, theta r, is about 17.7 inches of crust. Ooh.